Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And yes, as some of you may know, at the moment, it's right now July 2024, and I am currently in Tokyo. I'm just here for about a few weeks, and then I and my family will then be returning back to the United States. But while we are traveling and while we are coming back here in Tokyo for the summer, lo and behold, wouldn't you know, the Criterion Collection, I think a couple days ago, made its announcement on its website with respect to the planned releases that it has for the month of October 2024. And so, if it's okay with you, my dear friends, let us, you and I, just share our initial reactions and our thoughts and comments with respect to these planned releases for October 2024 from the Criterion Collection. One take, one take, one take, one take. A couple things before we begin. So I must apologize again. I'm currently on traveling at the moment, so I don't have all the equipment that I usually rely upon when I make videos. So if the sound's a little bit off or it's not so good quality, I apologize in advance for that. I hope you can forgive me though, because again, I'm currently traveling, as it were. And then also too, regarding these announcements, as always, these are my initial reactions, my initial thoughts and comments. I haven't had a chance to explore the actual item yet. When October arrives, hopefully that'll provide you and me, it will provide us with the opportunity to explore these items together and to continue on with our cinema journeys as we travel through the Criterion Collection recent releases for this year of 2024. So it's it's of course very possible that anything I say today might change depending on how I feel and how I am able to engage with the actual item when it arrives in October, when we go, or when I go to the Barnes & Noble store or am able to purchase it in October. So yes, so again, these are just my initial thoughts and comments today, but of course they may change. And as always, my strong recommendation is to check the Criterion Collection website directly for information about the titles, planned cover art designs, planned specifications, or supplements information on the new releases, the planned releases, as well as any other release that is included in the Criterion Collection. The physical media catalog of the Criterion Collection. It's a great resource, so please check the Criterion Collection website for more specific information. All right, with that being said, my dear friends, let us go in earnest and take a look at what the October 2024 Criterion Collection releases are. Okay, first up, scheduled for release on October 8th, 2024, and this is scheduled for spine number 1236, and it looks like we have the option of either a 2-disc DVD release or a 1-disc Blu-ray release or a 2-disc 4K plus Blu-ray release. So we have 3 options here in terms of the format, which is really great, especially considering that this is a newly emerging title, or titles, shall I say, in terms of the physical media catalog of Criterion. So it's really great to see, and in particular, the DVD option still being made available for new releases. It's really wonderful. And what is this release? This is a set of films. Well, they're both from 1943, from the producer, Val Lewton. And this is I Walked with a Zombie, The Seventh Victim, produced by Val Lewton. So this is really fantastic. So we have I Walked with a Zombie, the Jacques Tourneur work, directed by Jacques Tourneur, and then the other film, The Seventh Victim, directed by Mark Robson and produced by Val Lewton, thus giving rise to the title of this Criterion release, I Walked with a Zombie, and The Seventh Victim, produced by Val Lewton. So this is really fantastic. uh, the works of Val Lewton and the history, and the legacy of Val Lewton and Val Lewton works. And this is really quite a splendid and extraordinary period. And so it'll be great to be able to celebrate part of this legacy when we are able to watch or rewatch. Yes, I Walked with a Zombie and The Seventh Victim. And they have so many really interesting, I think, aspects of prefigured or designed aspects of mood and atmosphere that really, I think, carry the day in quite plentiful effect, each in their own ways, and also in terms of the way that the casting is used and employed here is also very rich as well. So, I Walked with a Zombie and The Seventh Victim, produced by Val Lewton. This is really exciting indeed. I should point out too that according to the Criterion website, this indicates new 4K digital restorations of both films, with uncompressed monaural soundtracks on the 4K UHD and Blu-ray editions, plus audio commentary for each of the works, and then some other supplements that you can find more details about if you check the Criterion Collection website with that, as well as the cover art designs for the total set, as well as I think for each title. Now, this is under one spine number 1236, and I'm looking specifically, and it doesn't look like the specific films, I Walked with a Zombie, The Seventh Victim, it doesn't look like those individual titles are getting their own spine numbers, but the entire, say, let's call it a collector's set, is getting one collective spine number of 1236. So this is a kind of trend that we've seen in terms of the spine numbering trends of the Criterion Collection recently. I wouldn't call it a criticism or anything of the sort, but I would call it an observation. And then it'll be interesting to see what the packaging has in store. It is two films, but it looks like it'll be employing maybe both films on the same disc. And then, of course, seeing how the Blu-ray format will be utilized in terms of the supplemental information or the supplemental materials. And, of course, I think a similar type of setup will be in store in terms of the two discs for the DVD release. So, but this is a very exciting turn, really exciting indeed. And also, too, in terms of the horror theme or the horror element, this is going to be released in October 8th, 2024. So, in many ways, perhaps as many, I think, associate horror and chiller films and those sort of moody atmospheric films with the month of October with respect to Halloween, etc. And this might be considered to be quite an apropos release in that regard as well. So horror and terror in the hands of Val Lewton with this release. So very exciting indeed, and can't wait to talk to you about these works when we are able to in October. And that is I Walked with a Zombie, The Seventh Victim, produced by Val Lewton. Next up, wow, scheduled for release on October 15th, 2024. And this is also, this is given spine number 1237. And this is also a new title emerging in the physical media catalog, but it's also given the format option of a single DVD, a single disc DVD, a single disc Blu-ray, or a two disc 4K plus Blu-ray release. So you still have these three separate format options for this new release, which is, again, really wonderful and exciting. And this is a work, again, designated at spine number 1237 for a film described as being from 1979. The filmmaker is Masahiro Shinoda. And the name of the work is, in English, Demon Pond. So Demon Pond, Shinoda's Demon Pond is coming to the Criterion Collection. This is really fantastic. You know, there was in Japan, this film, I think this film has a good physical media release. And I think it was, yes, it's also based upon a 4K digital restoration. And so I understand that the Criterion Collection release here for October 15th is also going to be based upon a 4K digital restoration. So perhaps it's the same one that we saw circulating in Japan. So we shall see. But in any event, this film is something else. You know, Shinoda is a really tour de force filmmaker in his own right, and a very powerful and incredibly important genius filmmaker artist from Japan during this period. And we have this type of, again, what one might call a mixture, a blend of Japanese folklore and art and theater, as well as the horror element done in a kind of extravagant way, sort of tour de force way, in your face type of way, while also giving way to a kind of modernism. And that mixture and blend of modernism and folklore, folktale, sort of spiritual horror, fantasy element. I think what makes this type of blending of certain sensibilities in the hands of Shinoda during this period of the late 1970s makes this a really exciting period of Japanese cinema, and this being, I think, a very great example of this. So Demon Pond, Shinoda's Demon Pond is coming to the Criterion Collection. This is a big surprise. This is a really big surprise. And I should say too that, again, it's purported to be based on the 4K digital restoration, so we shall see what the Criterion Collection release has in store for us when we do watch that. I can't wait for that. I love the music for this film. Oh gosh, I can't wait to talk about this film. And if you haven't seen this for the first time, I hope you get a kick out of it, especially the score. It's really great. I can't wait to talk to you, my dear friends, about this in more detail. And then looking at the cover art design, it looks really splendid and ornate, very cool indeed. And then we have, as I mentioned earlier, the format options are still being made available and robust. The DVD option is still being made available, the single disc Blu-ray, and then also for those who are opting for the 4K disc, that is also going to be made available, which is very exciting indeed. And then looking at some of the supplements that are on offer, and I should mention film scholar Dudley Andrew giving a new interview. I had the great honor of meeting Dudley Andrew when I was at university. So a very, very intelligent, brilliant scholar and a brilliant voice. And so an expert in many fields of cinema, including Japanese cinema. So this is a new interview, so I can't wait to hear from Professor Andrew about his thoughts and his observations on this great work, Demon Pond, as well as other supplements as well. This is very exciting news. And again, also, October release, it seems very apropos. It seems that it's part of that feeling of horror films or thrilling films of the sort for October. So very exciting news indeed. Once again, scheduled for release October 15th, 2024. It's by number 1237. This is the work from Shinoda, and it is Demon Pond. Let me say that again. The work is from Masahiro Shinoda, and it is Demon Pond. Next, scheduled for release also October 15th, 2024. And this is the offering in terms of the format is a 2-disc DVD release or a 1-disc Blu-ray release. And this is purported to be based on what is described as a new 2K digital restoration of a work which is described as being from the year 1929 at spine number 358. This is a title that had been in the Criterion Collection, but then fell out of print, I think. But it looks like we have its return in this new release scheduled again for October 15, 2024, of a film from the filmmaker G.W. Pabst. And the name of the work is Pandora's Box. Louise Brooks' Pandora's Box. This is really exciting news for a number of reasons. So, of course, it is the ability to visit or revisit or celebrate or re-celebrate, as the case may be, this incredible work called Pandora's Box, and a really iconic performance from one of the most iconic figures from the 1920s in this work described as being from 1929. That is Louise Brooks' Lulu, the legend that is Louise Brooks, being perhaps one of the great roles of one of the great iconic figures of 1920 cinema. So, and this has so much dimension, so much force, so much vivid life and detail. Again, capitalized and really encapsulated in so many of the vivid richness expressed in many forms, and not least of which, of course, being that of the Louise Brooks performance. So this is going to be so wonderful. This is, I think, tops film, and it is one that I think for those who have not yet seen this work, I can't wait to hear your feelings about this and your reactions. And then again, for those who have seen this already, but maybe you are excited to be able to visit this again, now is your chance. So October is your chance. So this is great, And it's also very exciting news because it is a return of this film to the Criterion Collection physical media catalog in this form. We shall see. I don't know what the new 2K digital restoration has in store for us. I do have the prior Criterion release from some years back, so it'll be interesting to see what the comparisons are, and I do think that there will be some comparisons to be had in terms of the presentation, the look, as well as some aspects of the packaging, etc. So I'm all there when it comes time to explore this title, as well as being able to watch this film again. I'm so thrilled by this. I'm really thrilled by this, and also again the reemergence of this in the Criterion Collection physical media catalog, as well as Pandora's Box, Louise Brooks, Lulu. My goodness, this is really great. This is, again, scheduled for release October 15th, 2024. Can't wait to talk about this film, my dear friends. At spy number 358. And this is the work which is Pandora's Box. Last but certainly not least, scheduled for release on October 22nd, 2024. And this is scheduled for spy number 1238. And we have the offering of either a single disc Blu-ray or a 2-disc 4K plus Blu-ray release, again for October 22nd. And this is for a film which is described as being from the year 1997. And the name of the filmmaker is Harmony Korine, and the name of the film is Gummo. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Again, I usually don't have my finger on the pulse of Criterion release rumors, and I don't know what's planned. I don't have any insider information, so I'm probably the last person one should ask in terms of what titles might emerge in the future. But that being said, I had no idea that Gummo would be coming to the Criterion Collection. And based upon what is described as being a new 4K digital restoration, as well as some supplements, including what looks like a new interview with the director of this work, Gummo. This is a really, it is an earnest film. It is a very challenging film. It is a work that is unforgettable. It is a film that is tender. It is also very brutal. It is unflinching. It is also it is remarkable. It is also ghastly. It is shocking. It is certainly not for everyone. I mean, this is a film, I remember when I saw it for the first time, I kind of was caught off guard. And this was many years ago when this sort of announced itself, kind of in the sort of periphery, but it was something that was still something that one could see. And I remember when I first saw it, I felt fascinated and revolted, and it was very hard to process when I first saw it many years ago. And then I had a chance to revisit it again sometime later, and it became something of a work where I could recognize a little bit more than my initial watch. I could recognize its, for lack of a better phrase, a kind of raw, unflinching honesty. It's very raw, very direct, perhaps for some a bit too raw, a bit too direct, but it is a work that is undoubtedly and unquestionably a film of a very powerful earnestness, very powerful kind of directness and a very kind of a certain perspective on I mean, among other things, a certain perspective on life and living that is undeniably effective. This is a really powerful and in some moments very poetic and tender, and as I say, in other moments, quite vividly difficult and very challenging, really challenging. And it is a film that it is not for everyone. Not. I think that can be said for many a film in the Criterion Collection or any other label for that matter. The films that are made available aren't for everyone, and maybe that maybe they shouldn't. These films are again from many walks of life and from many different perspectives, and so covering many different things, and so they might not be for everyone. But that's okay for those for whom Gummo is work that you will watch and you will engage with. I'm there with you, my dear friends. I find this work to be utterly engaging and very. It's a very far-reaching work that I think has a type of deep-rooted sense of almost a sense of proclamation to it, cinematic proclamation to it, which I find very effective indeed. And so I cannot wait to be able to speak to you, my dear friends, about this when it comes time to talk about this work in October. This is something else. I am floored by this. I'm absolutely floored by this announcement. This is stunning. This is stunning. So. Very exciting, very exciting. This is going to cause some. This might cause some interesting ripple effects in terms of how people react to this when it arrives. But again, that's the nature of the work, and I think that it doesn't shy away from that. Which is again, it's a raw and earnest portrait, or series of portraits, I should say. And so, with very many multifaceted approaches to it. And so one of the most memorable works from the 1990s, this is the work which is Gummo. So we have a number of supplements that are made available, and again, the 4K digital restoration, we shall see what that has in store for us. But this is going to be another memorable memorable release indeed. I can definitely anticipate that. Wow. So coming to the Criterion Collection, scheduled for release October 22nd, 2024. This is for Spine number 1238, and this is the film which is Gummo. All right, my dear friends, so we have 4 titles. It looks like we have 5 films, if you count the 2 films in the produced by Val Lewton release, and then the remaining 3 titles. Demon Pond, and then Pandora's Box, and then Gummo. So we have 4 releases, 5 films as the feature films, as the main attractions, the main events for each of those releases, respectively. And so that seems like a good amount. Maybe not the most plentiful in terms of quantity of releases that has ever been had in a given month from the Criterion Collection, but that's okay. Not a problem at all, at least from my perspective, anyway. And again, we have some films which could be said to be in keeping with a kind of horror film feel or tradition. To speak of I Walked with a Zombie, and the 7th Victim release, the produced by Val Lewton release, that'll start the month, and then Demon Pond, or at least the first of the release, I should say, that's part of this announcement, and then Demon Pond, the Shinoda work from late 70s. And then we have a re-release or re-emergence of a title that had been part of the Criterion Collection catalog before, but now it's back, and that's the great Pandora's Box of Louise Brooks and Pabst, and then Gummo to end this set of releases here. And I've already explained just how unforgettable I think this film is, and so wow, this is, I think, a very phenomenal month. And as I mentioned too, it's nice to see the reemergence of a title that had been maybe out of print, and then also to see the DVD format. It's not being applied to all of the releases, but it's still being applied to, at least in the context of the October release announcement, most of the releases. So that's really wonderful. That's really wonderful. And I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. I think the DVD format is incredibly important in terms of what kinds of how far one's audience can be for a given release. I have nothing but praise for the general applicability of advancing technologies, right? With in terms of DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K, and all that has to offer, and all the potential. But it's always nice to have a wide array, a wide range of physical media formats, while we can still say that we are living in a kind of healthy age of physical media releases. So as long as we're in this type of age, if I can still see releases that still have the option of DVDs, I'll be very happy indeed. So I count myself very happy and very fortunate this given month of the planned October releases. And it seems like I mean, each of these films in their own ways is an exciting, electrifying film. So I cannot wait for this. I'm just floored by it, and I like there's a sense that maybe relatively speaking there isn't. It's not the most plentiful in terms of number of titles, but I still feel like there is a good blend or mix of variety, to the extent that variety can be had with the number of releases that we are talking about here for October. I think it's a good, healthy approach, and so I'm thrilled by this. I'm really thrilled by this. I noticed too the dates, so maybe in the interim dates, maybe there might be some extra titles that could be announced along the way. Who knows? I don't know what the plans are for the Criterion offices. So, if there are any other new releases beyond these or separate from these, of course, let's stay tuned to the Criterion website or other news about the Criterion collection as we edge closer to October. But in the meantime, we have these 4 releases to welcome us, or to raise our levels of anticipation as we move on from this month, July, into the later summer months, and then into autumn, and then finally October, where these titles will welcome us. So, well done, Criterion. So, my dear friends, what do you think? Please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I'm always very interested to hear your thoughts and comments. Are you excited? Are you not so excited? Are you meh? Are you not at all interested? Whatever the case may be, my dear friends, please let me know your thoughts and your opinions and your philosophies and your perspectives. They're always very important, very important. I consider myself very honored that you'd be willing to share a little bit of your thoughts and comments with me. I'm very honored indeed. So, my dear friends, if you are interested, please let me know in the comment section below. But with that, my dear friends, let me end it here. I will hopefully see you at the next video. But until then, please continue to be happy and healthy and well. And please keep on watching a lot of great movies. So, thank you very much. And until the next one, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.